Hello students. Well, on this page we're going to continue to solve two-step equations. So quick reminder, the secret to solving equations is to keep the balance. So whatever I do to the left side, I do to the right side. And the second really important thing to remember is you undo the order of operations in reverse. So the first thing I do is add and subtract, and the second thing I do is multiply and divide and so on. So to solve this equation here, the first step is to subtract 3 from both sides. So I'm undoing the adding. Those disappear. That leaves me with y on 2 equals 7. And multiply both sides by 2. Oops, that's not right. Let me fix that. How did I get that? Okay, 7 minus 3 I think is 4, not 7. Multiply both sides by 2. Over here, the 2's divide out, leaving just a y, and the answer is y equals 8. Quick check. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, now this next question is a bit more interesting. In fact, I'm going to do it two different ways, and you can decide which way you prefer. The problem here is we're subtracting a fraction involving the unknown. So here's one way to do it. Okay, as before, whenever you're subtracting the unknown, you change it into add the negative. Now the question is, where is the negative going to go? I could put it on either on the top or on the bottom. I'm going to put it on the top, but I'm also going to put the coefficient of 1 in front of the p. So I've changed subtract p over 3 into plus negative 1p over 3. You can always put a 1 in front of any variable. It's always there. We just don't always write it because sometimes we don't need it. Okay, so continuing with the way we've solved equations like this before, because we've got a plus, I can subtract the 4 from both sides. So I leave the p where it is. 4 minus 4 goes to 0. That leaves me with negative 1p over 3 equals 2. Okay, I've got a multiply and a divide. What I'm going to do is multiply by 3 using my little rule that I like to get rid of fractions as soon as possible. So I get negative 1p equals 6. And then finally divide by negative 1. And 6 divided by negative 1 is negative 6. A quick check. Negative 6 over 3 is negative 2. 4 subtract negative 2. Well, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. 4 plus 2 is 6. So that answer is correct. Okay, now I'm going to do the same question, but do it slightly differently. In fact, this is probably the method I would prefer for this one, but you can choose between the two. I can say instead of, well, the opposite of subtracting p on 3 is just adding p on 3. So I'm going to do that to both sides of the equation. Okay, they disappear, leaving just the 4. Now these aren't like terms, so I have to write them separately. I can't simplify that, so it's just p on 3 plus 6. Again, I prefer to write that first. That's the standard place where we put the unknown. Okay, now it's relatively straightforward. Take 6 from both sides. Those disappear. I'm going to write the p on 3 on this side equals 4 subtract 6 is negative 2 on that side. Let me get this guy out of the way. We'll move those down for now. And finally, multiply both sides by 3. And I end up with the same answer. So your two choices for solving equations when you've got subtracting a fraction involving the variable is to turn it into plus, in this case, plus negative 1p over 3. The alternative is to add p over 3 to both sides to get the variable on the other side. So it's up to you which way you go about tackling questions like that. And what I want you to do right now Come on, I want you to move. Thank you. Make it a bit bigger. Okay. I'd like you to have a go at those two questions. So stop the video and come back and check your answer once you've finished. Okay, welcome back, students. Okay, this one's fairly straightforward. We've got a divide and an add. So using AMIB, we undo the adding first by subtracting. That leaves just h over 7. 3 minus 1 is 2. Multiply both sides by 7. And h equals 14. Quick check. 14 divided 7 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, on the right-hand side, slightly more complicated. I think I'll do this one using my plus negative method. So I'm going to change subtract to add the negative. And I'm also going to put a 1 in front of the unknown. Okay, so because I've got a plus there, I can take away the 1 from both sides. 1 minus 1 goes to 0. That leaves negative 1d over 3 equals 6. Multiply both sides by 3, and they divide out, leaving negative 1d equals 18, and divide both sides by negative 1. And that leaves d is negative 18 divided by negative 1. So I think the correct answer is negative 18. Let's do a quick check. Negative 18 over 6, negative 18 over 3 is negative 6. 1 subtract negative 6 is the same as 1 plus 6, which is 7. So we do have the correct answer. So a slightly more challenging little two-step equation. So what we'll do in the next video is move on to another type of equation where we've got brackets in the equation.